Good afternoon, everybody. Let's talk about the prophetic word again today. Let's look at Mark chapter 2, verse 18 to 22. And we're going to focus our attention on this section of Scripture again. And this is going to be the prophetic word for today. And really the title of this prophetic word is, Why Are We Doing What We Do? In any capacity, to the listener of this video, why are we as believers doing what we do? Why are we doing it? It's an honest question, and I think that question is going to be asked today in this video. The disciples of John in verse 18 and of the Pharisees were fasting. Then they came and said to him, Why do the disciples of John and of the Pharisees fast, but your disciples do not fast? And Jesus said to them, Can the friends of the bridegroom fast while the bridegroom is with them? As long as they have the bridegroom with them, they cannot fast. Basically, Jesus is saying, they're asking him the question, John's disciples fast, the Pharisees' disciples fast. Why aren't your disciples fasting like us? And the Lord is saying, basically, in a nutshell, the reason why they're not doing something is for me. And the reason why they will do something like fasting is for me. And that's the difference between the disciples of John and the disciples of the Pharisees. They're focused on what they are doing for them instead of what they're not doing for them. And Jesus is saying, obedience to me is in what you're doing for me and what you're not doing because of me. So you're going to do things because of me, and you're not going to do things because of me. And my disciples live that way. My disciples have that kind of relationship with me. And so he immediately addresses their fasting issue. He knew what they were talking about. He knew they just wanted to argue. But he said, you have something missing. You thought that you were doing better than us. You thought that you were doing better than my disciples. But there's something missing in you. You are not making decisions in your life because of me. You're making decisions in your life, the disciples are, because of John or because of the Pharisees. And there's some people listening to this video that are doing the same thing. That Jesus is somewhere down the road and he'll catch up, and the reason why you're doing something in what you're doing in your life right now is for him, but not the main reason why you're doing what you're doing. That's not why you're doing it. You're not led to do it, and that's why you're not doing it, because it's not really for him, or that's the reason why you are doing it. And then he goes on to say the repercussions of someone that doesn't do, and make Jesus the primary reason why we either do or don't do something. Jesus has to be the reason why the believer is doing what they're doing in their life, or not doing what they're not doing in their life. He has to be that reason. Or there is ramifications as a result of us finding another reason to do what we do as believers. We will find ourselves in the parable that Jesus begins to speak about here in verse 21. He says, no one sews a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old garment, or else the new piece pulls away from the old, and the tear is made worse. Isn't that true for those who sew and put patches on things? When you put a brand new patch on an old garment, it doesn't seem to really help. There's got to be some things that you do to really make that profitable for you, for that patch profitable. But if you're just going to sew a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old garment, or else the new piece, if you're going to just do that, it will pull away, the new piece will pull away from the old, and the tear will be made worse. When someone is going to do something, and Jesus is not the main reason why that someone is doing it, you may be the new piece that's trying to attach yourself to that old garment. That old garment, you may be convinced that it's something brand new, something that you've never experienced before, but it's still the old garment, and you're that new piece. And as a result of you doing it for any other reason than Jesus, and He is leading you, and you are doing it for Jesus Himself, then this is what's going to happen to you. The new piece pulls away from the old, and the tear is made worse. Where God brought you to this point in your life will begin to fall apart if you're not doing what you're doing right now, and next week, and next month, and next year for Jesus. It will be made worse than what you came from. Another example, no one puts a new wine into old wineskins, or else the new wine bursts the wineskins, the wine is spilt, and the wineskins are ruined. But new wine must be put into new wineskins. Every single thing that we do must be first and foremost because it is for Jesus. It is for Jesus. It is not for any other reason, primarily, and for the most part, for any other reason. The reason why we're not doing something is because of Jesus. Jesus said yes, and Jesus is the reason, and Jesus is glorified. Or Jesus said no, and Jesus is also glorified. And He's the reason why we do what we do, or not do what we do. Or the tear is made worse, or the wineskins are ruined. That's what He doesn't want us to come to that place. And there is people that are making decisions in their life right now that they think that that old garment and that old wineskin is something new. And it's comparable to you being the new piece and the new wine. And you're convinced because of something other than Jesus, if you're honest with yourself, that this is going to be a godly union, whatever it is, whatever direction that you are going. But the surefire way of knowing that it is not is because Jesus is not the main reason we are doing it. It will tear away and be made worse for us. Or the wine spills and the wineskins are ruined. Your life becomes worse, not better. And the enemy just laughs. So whatever we do or whatever we're not doing is because of Jesus. That's why we do what we do. God bless you. Have a great day.